this tournament having to suffer a loss by default on day one.
Especially for some of these players, too. Some of these players are extremely new to Counter-Strike. One of these players, it's either Breezy or DSR, I'm trying to remember which one exactly, but
DSR.
one of these guys, DSR, I think he's coming out open to play in this one. He has no experience prior to that and playing in some of the upper leagues.
Sorry about that. He's Breezy, sorry.
Yeah, so that's Breezy there, and this is going to be his first big challenge here, going against Winterfox, and they're starting off on the CT side as well, which is going to be a big test for them. Winterfox on this map specifically are really dominant on that CT side. Anger here right at the start is going to be a big test, but Flowsick too, they're starting to roll into the site though, so let's check it out.
Yeah, they're plowing right now with the Glocks outside B. Here comes the first kill of this matchup. It's going to be Flowsick going with 2 kills, but retaliated back by Breezy. Now it's still going to be a 1-man advantage as Slemmy is trying to close it through, but a great retake by Winterfox so far. Ape is going to be the last man standing, and XP3 going with the triple kill, getting the first round for Winterfox.
And that's a great start for XP3. Again, he's been looking more and more of a better player over these recent weeks, really improving his own consistency. That was one of his big problems too, was that he used to be a really unstable player, would go completely off in some games, but then be just missing for the next game after that. When he's really improved that recently, and starting off with a 3K is not a bad way to show that he's still here to play.
Definitely. Looks like we might have a technical pause going on here right now for Winterfox. So we could talk a little bit more about Obey Trifecta. So we were mentioning it a little bit at the analyst desk. Where does this team come from?
So we talk a little about that again. We already mentioned one of the players is coming straight out of an open roster, as far as we can tell from his history. No experience before that. I know no one has a little bit more of an experience in playing pro. About 2 seasons ago in CEVO, he was playing in their professional league with VVV Gaming. Haven't heard much from him since then, but now he's joined up with this roster, has managed to get in here. Ape as well, I think, is a name some more people should know. He's been popping up on a couple rosters here and there, but beyond that, definitely some new faces here in North American Counter-Strike.
Ape is definitely the veteran in this roster, having some 1.6 experience. I think how this team came about as well was that Ape decided to go to play, whether it be at previous LAN over the summertime with DSR and with no one, and then suddenly they brought in Slemmy. They had to try it with Synced as well for the Toronto LAN to happen in the beginning of December, but now they try in Breezy, and Breezy is the up-and-comer player that's basically dominating right now for the team. So we'll see what's going to happen. They have lost the pistol round as we have returned into this matchup and resumed it, and it looks like we have an execute towards the A bomb site.
As they're rolling in here, Lex is going to be trying to hold it off initially, but he's going to get brought down to 62 HP. That doesn't stop from picking up frags. Now gets pressured by no one, but he's going to get the clothesline, shuts him down. The SR are able to pick up a response to that by taking down Lex, leaving it into a 3-on-4, but in comes Desi now rolling back in from CT spawn. He's going to be able to pick up 2 kills, and then XP3 with a swift cleanup there finishes it up and gives Winterfox the 2-0 start.
Yeah, and still a great job by Lex to hold things off. I mean, I don't think they got a bomb plant at the same time as well for Obey Trifecta, so that's actually 2 good rounds for the CTs to prevent any economy to be built up, to actually prevent them from going for any type of force buy in this 3rd round as well for Obey Trifecta. But we still have yet to see what they have to bring on the table right now for this terrorist team as soon as they have that economy built up. But you mentioned it, Lex is very strong at A.
Yeah, one of the big problems I could potentially see for Winterfox as we get further into this half is going to be the way that they control their CT economy. We saw in their match earlier versus Optic, that was a pretty big problem because they like to go on their ecos for these big deagle buys, which became problems for them, but we'll talk more about that in a minute here. There's some action starting to peek back over here towards middle. XP3, though, coming outside a window. He's able to grab 1. Flowsick, another player who's been doing much better for Winterfox lately, being able to pick up another kill, and then Anger just rolling in there. 2 more for him. Nice, easy cleanup here on this final eco round for Obey. Just going to be Slemmy left alive, but he's handled pretty quickly there by Anger as well.
And this is a flawless victory for Winterfox. The advantage, I think, right now for Obey Trifecta, as we're going to have this default buy coming in, is that I don't think you'll see much of an upgrade in terms of guns for Winterfox. So that's less firepower with the FAMASs that they're going to keep, and possibly even the UMP. So Lex at this point, maybe we'll see him play a little bit more close range inside A, maybe under balcony inside the Palace with that UMP, but still a great start for Winterfox to start things off here on this first half.
There's also like no reason for Winterfox to worry as of yet either. They really have not been pressured that heavily by the members of Obey, so until we see some real trouble spots for Winterfox, I don't really think that they're going to be too pressured to try and go for the big upgrades or really any sort of big investment. Obviously, when XP3 goes down or a teammate drops that needs an upgrade, he's going to be able to trade that over for the op just so they can get that, but for the time being, it's not really needed. And Obey, you can tell they've been frozen a little bit here by these first couple of rounds as they're trying to take it nice and slow in hopes Winterfox get aggressive, but from the looks of it, that's definitely not happening.
Yeah, and so far the communication's been well for Winterfox, because we saw the way that they tried to push towards mid for Obey Trifecta. Desi had to fall back, had some backup from XP3. XP3 fell back, had some backup from Flowsick on Catwalk. If this communication continues on Mirage, I think we're going to see a dominant performance from Winterfox in this first map. But let's not count our chickens before they hatch. Let's see what's going to happen as they're trying to unveil here with possibly fakes towards this A site to move then towards mid control.
They're fighting on it too from Winterfox. This could be bad. Flowsick fully rotating out. They're just going to leave Anger here, and he even seems like he wants to rotate away a little bit too, but wants to check on top of Van. However, we can see Obey now pushing up through Catwalk over there. Unfortunately, nobody noticing it, but this fake is not going too well either. Breezy only going to be able to pick up Lex. Desi finding the trade for that one, but now they're coming into this B site, immediately picking up Anger, and Winterfox, they've got to rotate in. They're quick enough about it, but still, they have no control over this site right now.
Exactly, you mentioned it. Anger was stuck there by himself by an easy rotation. Bit on the bait. And now they do have a kill to make it a 3 versus 3. The bomb is planted for Obey Trifecta. They have a great pulse plant setup with it getting the kill onto Flowsick, who's trying to push inside the site, but they're moving in one by one here for Winterfox. Trades coming through, but Desi's going to be the last man standing. He doesn't know that once inside that the upper B, now position is given away, and that nullifies basically that pistol throw. And now at least he knows the position of both, but this clock is ticking down. This is looking to be Obey's round.
He's going to stick this. Oh, he's going to be able to get it. He's not going to be able to peek in time. And there we go. The defuse rolls in from Winterfox. What a huge mistake from DSR. That was being played perfectly by Obey up to that point, as they were just taking this nice passive play, but that actually ends up biting them in the butt at the end of the round as he gets the full defuse.
Not only that, it's DSR trying to jump out that window, missed the first jump, finally gets down, and instead of going into the front side, he's like, oh, let me take the longer route and go around the pipelines and let him get the defuse. Unfortunate there for the timing. I guess, I mean, it's new experience right now for this Obey Trifecta lineup too. This is basically their first big event. They played together at the Toronto LAN, but now they're facing off against teams that are actually a lot stronger. Now they're going for the force buy. And will they take control of this middle as Ape's trying to get that kill and loses it to Flowsick?
Desi also already picking up one, and now two back over in the middle and back over towards the Palace. No one finding at least one trade as he tries to push his way outside of T-Ramp, but not looking likely to find more as XP3 now picking up that up. He picks up one, but also DSR again, able to find that trade. Shuts him down. Unfortunately, though, he's stuck inside of this site. Going to try and hide behind Firebox in hopes of, again, some over-aggressiveness coming out from Winterfox. But it doesn't look like we're going to be seeing that anytime soon. Just will be waiting it out. And as soon as they're able to figure out his exact location, it'll be the shutdown.
I think they just spotted DSR, sorry. But he still manages to get the kill onto Flowsick. Now it's a 2 versus 1. Knowing that one's that CT spawn, the last two have to be around that connector side. Now that's 2 spam, so he knows where they both are. Gets the 1 tap onto Desi. Now it's a 1 versus 1. Crosses over. They both get away to positions. He's bringing the fight against Anger. But then Anger falls away just on time at the staircase. Can DSR, will he try to go for another fake plant right now? No, he outpositioned him and clutches a 3 versus 1 to redeem himself from that fail of that 1 versus 1 of the round before.
Big mistake by Anger. He had thought that DSR had retreated back over towards Firebox, but again, no bomb going down just as of yet. There wouldn't be a really valid reason for him to have done that, so that's a bit unfortunate there that he's going to get that miscalculation, and now we see Obey getting themselves onto the board here, but the consistency is going to be key because they're buying out. They don't really have money to continue doing this, though, if they immediately drop this round of Winterfox, but at the same time, as you were mentioning before, for Winterfox, their money was extremely low, and they immediately are forced onto a save because of this loss.
Yeah, now we're going to see him with the Deagles again, but this is basically the same scenario that happened against Optic. I mean, they win 4 rounds in a row. As soon as they lose 1 round, they're forced on an eco. So the money economy for Winterfox, although they have a great start on CT side every single time on what should be a CT-sided map, this is where the economy could switch in Obey Trifecta. With this eco coming through from Winterfox, if they could pick the next 2 or 3 and ended up at 5 or 6 at the end of the half, they're looking good on CT side.
And again, we're not seeing any aggressive movement coming out of Obey Trifecta just as of yet. Winterfox themselves, Anger specifically, was hoping there would be a little bit more play towards middle, and again, that is a little bit odd that Obey have sort of been shying away from that. Normally you see teams trying to get control of that area, it's very important, and you can do a lot of things once you manage to get control of that portion of the map, but they're sticking to the side lanes for the time being. It's worked for 1 round now as they had a huge player clutch it out, but in terms of their actual takes, it's still looking very, very messy. Now, however, they work their way over towards middle. Just going to be a quick play through Cat, though, as they push in. Not calculating for Anger inside, but he's not going to be able to connect enough hits to find a kill on his Slemmy. Breezy moving in. He's finding 1 and 2 there. Slemmy helping him out as XP3, able to trade at least one of these players out. However, the final 2 from Winterfox have been decimated. Nowhere near the action at this point. And for Lex, he's already falling back looking for exits. Desi probably going to try to do the same thing, but unfortunately, he's been 1-tapped there by no one.
Yeah, and Lex only has a USP, so I don't think he can get anything long range here unless Slemmy gets caught. And thankfully for him, Slemmy's at 48 HP, as you can see him through the X-ray, and he might be walking into that. But at the end of the day, a little bit of scrambling things going on for Roubaix Trifecta at the beginning of this round, trying to figure out how they wanted to execute this B. I mean, it looks like they were set towards B, but they're bumping against each other a little bit there. So again, maybe probably that land nervousness that they have to shake through. But as they start to pick up more and more rounds here against Winterfox, which is looking very good so far, and the way that they're exiting as a team as well to try to minimize the amount of guns that could be lost. These guys have good composure.
Yeah, and again, good read on that, not going towards middle there. Had a feeling Lex might be hanging out because good chance he was going to be hanging out towards the A site. Unfortunately, this does allow Lex to sneak back in through Cat there at the end of the round and pick up a rifle. So he is going to have a Galil coming into this round. The rest of his teammates were taking a minute there to decide if they wanted to force up behind them. They're going to go for this. The buy's actually not that bad. Apologies. Everybody else still able to afford the full M4 buy, along with armor coming behind it. And the other player that's really missing a significant amount of utility is going to be XP3. Now, not a lot of HEs and whatnot coming into the picture, or mollies for that matter. But with enough smokes and flashbangs, along with a good dominance on site, that shouldn't really matter all that much.
Yeah, it's enough for them to hold catwalk and for a ramp for a bit, even upper B right now. But like you said, it was minimal. As soon as these pan out, look at the amount of utility that's still left for a Roubaix Trifecta. At least, though, Abe is making this mistake that's going for a body peek and loses the fight against XP3. Will they be able to trade it out here as Flosik gives away his position? Now he spotted one at mid, saw a smoke bloom towards middle as well, so he could call out that there's two guys at mid. What else is happening so far? They're just holding it very passively for a Roubaix Trifecta again, waiting for these smokes to dissipate.
DSR trying to figure out what's going on through connector there as he's hoping again. A lot of this going on from Roubaix so far in this one. He might actually catch a player. Oof. Just barely going to miss that connection though on XP3 as he did go for the peek and window. Probably not going to be seeing him do that again without the op in his presence. So he's got to hang back. No flashes or anything to peek that out either. So this is where that lack of utility starts to hurt them as Roubaix are playing these very, very long rounds and bringing the timer down very low. And with the smokes and pretty much all of their utility being used earlier on in the round, unfortunately they're not going to have it when the actual take comes. And with how little they've actually given away here too, it's still going to be a pretty big mystery as to where exactly the play is going to happen from, which looks like it's moving over towards the B side right now.
Exactly. Not only that, they don't really have anybody that's trying to sell a fake towards that A side because they lost Ape early in the round, so whatever they're committing to is going to be that last-minute call. So they actually already have that quick rotation on Winterfox's side. They have that stack inside B.
Anger's not even looking towards apartments right now. Take a look at that.
Yeah, well, at least Flosik... Oh, actually, he lost the fight. They overtake B. They also take down XP3 with an entry onto from Breezy, sorry. As now they get the plant for catwalk. Les is just going to try to go for that one-man peek inside the site, trying to get something done, maybe get the bomb carrier to prevent that plant from going through and hopefully win by timer. But unfortunately, it didn't work out. Desi's going to be the last man standing on a 3v1, and it's going to be just like that. 4-3 in favor of Roubaix Trifecta since that gun round.
That had to be a case of misinformation coming out from Winterfox because, like I said before, Anger was caught completely off guard by that apartments push. It seemed like the call was that everybody was just going to come rushing in from Cat there as he was focused fully on supporting his teammate on that area of the map. So nobody was even thinking there was going to be anything out of apartments. Big mistake once again there on the misinformation as he's not able to adjust his position quickly enough. He's shut down and they just filter out on the site. They're giving way too much control already.
Now what happened too when we had that technical pause at the beginning, it was because the microphone of the coach actually didn't work. I don't know if they tried to fix it or if they have fixed it because XP3 was like at some point, whatever. And if that's the case and they're starting to lose these rounds, maybe they're actually being a little bit overconfident in this matchup first, underestimating Roubaix Trifecta. Now maybe you might even see the first... Oh no, they're not going to go for a pause.
That was a problem for Enemy too when they played against EZG. Was I think they really underestimated them on one of their halves after they got that 14-1 started. Then they almost came back in that best of one match. That was our first game yesterday. So yeah, that could very well be the possibility as to why Winterfox are blundering here to a certain degree. But on this eco, Winterfox took the big gamble, stacking all 5 players on the A site. Doesn't pay off. Roubaix are now rolling into the B site. It's completely open. They have no trouble getting the plant. They are trying to rotate in to resist it now, but not looking so good. All the smokes and the nades start tumbling inside of Market here. Already 2 kills coming out. Lex is able to snag at least 1 with the Deagles. He takes down Slemmy, but it already looks like they're just trying to pick up some extra guns here. Desi thankfully found 1, and the others will be positioning for exits. Lex picked up an AK as well, but he's going to be found out by Breezy.
Great job by Breezy. He heard that ladder, he heard that pickup, he heard that drop inside window as well. Just held the angle. Nice attempt by Lex to throw that flash, but at the end of the day, it didn't really affect him because he kind of fell behind that plank. Also, they're still looking for these exits. So Desi, the one that was able to save that M4 from before, is trying to keep it now, and Flosik picking up that AK at least. Looks like they might be able to salvage 2 at the end of the day. Well, should I say 1 and save the one from the previous round with Desi. So it's not so bad actually for Winterfox in that save. because they actually wasted 3 guns on Obey's side, and 8 comes out of that with only a Mac 10 at the same time.
Desi also had a chance too. He actually didn't end up going for it, but Desi killed an Opper back over there in the outside halls, outside of the apartments towards the B site. But I don't think he wanted to take a risk on going for it, just in case there was somebody else from the CTs or from the T's, apologies, still hanging out behind him further inside the apartment. If he'd managed to pick that up though, that would have saved him a lot of money, because look at how low XP3 is now that he's had to go over the full investment.
Well, we're all tied up now 4-4, and I think we're looking at a more aggressive play, yes indeed, for Obey Trifecta. Look at them. They're trying to take control at this underpass so far. Usually you see DSR as the opera for the team. They had enough money to drop that AK from DSR onto Ape and have one of the guys at 11k to drop an AWP for DSR, but I think they want to set up more for these aggressive pushes, which seems to be working a lot by affecting this B bomb site. The only time they worked towards that A bomb site, they almost lost it, but DSR actually clutched the 3 versus 1. Now they have the most success out of B. They're going to try it again.
They're going through underpass though, so this might be held back by a couple extra moments. The bomb alone is pushing in, which could have been dangerous, but he has some he's holding back a little bit more now. However, he's starting to push in. This could be very dangerous if he doesn't end up committing to it, but now he's smart about it. Falls back. That would have been absolutely crazy if he'd gone hit it, but thankfully he pushes back. Now they're in middle here. They've gotten a little bit control, and this could be interesting if this works, but I think XP3 just realized that they were trying to boost that, as that grenade just connected off one of the players, and he should have been able to hear the bouncing sound. So they're going to move back a little bit now, working their way back through underpass again and finding their way closer inside of the apartments, but if Winterfox are smart about this, they should have a read on what's going to happen here over the next few moments.
Well, they lurk for some positioning, so now they're going to try to sell this fake towards A by having a guy coming up. Good trade, actually. To start this off for Breezy, they might force a rotation out. So that means Anger's by himself inside this A bomb site, as we still have no one alive. But now he gets the bomb carrier. There's 27 seconds left remaining. He's trying to go for the trick kill to no avail. At least it's a 3 versus 1. The rotation comes through. The only thing he can do right now is maybe get a bomb plant for the team, but actually he's going to bring the fight towards them. So now with 16 seconds left on the clock, XP3 and Desi through the market. He's going to have to try to push through very quickly, but XP3 waiting for them with the AWP takes him down, and Winterfox retakes the lead.
And thankfully, again, that A site hold was when they attempted to go for the fake there through connector. The A site hold remained strong. Had that have actually gone bad, probably actually could have seen that brought down to about a 1 versus 1 on site, and Fanger dropping could have gone a completely different way. So Winterfox managed to hold on. Some interesting attempt at a play there by Obey, but unfortunately it's thrown off by some very lucky timing there from XP3. And they have to back up, just go for a regular push inside of the B side, and that doesn't end up working out so well.
Now they do have op power, no ops in the hands of Obey Trifecta. Also with this force buy that they have, there's not much to work with for Slemmy. So at this point, if they actually lose this one here, they could have their money reset, which would actually make it a little bit more comfortable for Winterfox. But 4 rounds out of 9 so far for Obey Trifecta. That's nothing to be ashamed of, as it's been a actually very good half of them so far.
So now as we wait and see for Obey Trifecta, apologies. These players just taking it nice and slow once again, trying to figure out exactly where the positions are going to be for Winterfox here. And so far not being able to find anything. They're actually expecting from Winterfox, they've got a bit of a dual spray angle going on here. Blowstick inside of the ladder room. Just now we're seeing XP3 move inside of that window room, but he's going to have to come back out because he's been smoked away from it. But they were hoping they were going to boost towards it, which may actually end up still happening here as they've gone for the smoke towards connector. Didn't really connect as well as they were hoping, so they have to use a second one. But that actually gives XP3 a very, very small angle to look through. So he's able to find DSR. Breezy, though, coming in with the trade on the Flowstick there, able to take him down. And again, they're going for that B play. They're going to try to move into here, but Anger, he should have a great position. Doesn't realize, though, that Slemmy walked right past that window. And they might have been able to hear him dropping away a second ago, but it doesn't actually look like it, so he's still sitting here waiting for the peek. Breezy, though, still remaining consistent in those 1 versus 1s. Takes down Anger, and now they're on the site taking control, but the rotation's coming in so quick. Already XP3 in here. 8, though, finding 1, but now XP3's here to party. He's going to pick up 1 kill on towards Slemmy. Now let's see if he can take down Breezy. It's actually going to be Lex that comes in and steals it from him. But they still got 2 left alive.
Exactly. It's Pioneer for Catwalk. They're going to spot the first one. Never knew that somebody was at upper B, and now they're going to try to bring it to a 1 versus 1, but he has nothing to work with. He does have a flash. He's not going to throw it, though. Now he's going to try to go for a USB kill, but Ape's going to win that one. We're tying at 5-5. And what I thought would have been Winterfox's round, just for some mistakes from Obey Trifecta, they were able to bring it back thanks to the entries of Breezy inside B, as you can see him right now. I think the reason why I said it was going to be a mistake was that they actually tried to smoke towards that window to start. It actually bounced wrong, so they wasted a smoke. So after smoking it after there, they could have smoked on Catwalk and then take control of connector. But now that was 1 smoke less, which actually gave an opening for Winterfox to actually hold that A site. But again, thankfully for Breezy with the entries, was able to hold it back. Save round for Winterfox.
Yeah, the money was still unstable, so they're going to have to go for it to save. And they try to get aggressive in mid, but things just not going very well. XP3 shut down towards middle. think Anger pretty close to that as well. He's going to be eliminated, so already down to just 3, and for the most part, they're stuck either towards trying to defend the middle and connector area or on that A site. So there's Flowsick. We weren't exactly expecting 2 to be resisting them from connector, so Flowsick actually going to be able to pick up 2 onto both No One and Breezy, but now he's stuck in this corner looking for the 3rd. The bomb's going down, and now more on the way to take down Lex, which is going to be the final player left alive.
Well, at least they get 2 kills here. A nice 1 dig onto Ape. He's going to try to come back here against Slemmy. 1 versus 1 cannot connect with that one. But again, economical damage. Well done and implemented by Winterfox to actually go with this buy that they're going to have. Maybe Anger is going to be a little bit more low here in this buy. But they have a chance to possibly reset the economy one more time here against Obey Trifecta should they win this one. So this round is key for both, as you can see from the scoreboard. All of them bought at very low amount.
Winterfox, and there's a reason for this too, because Winterfox need to be able to pull ahead on the CT side to like a 9-6 scoreline if they want to hope of winning. Their T side, this is a very polar team when it comes to the side disadvantage, but we'll talk more about this in a second. Combat getting started, XP3 still doing good from jungle, but walks right into the spray of Breezy, almost picks up a second one, but thankfully Flowsick is there to be able to pick up the trade for it, but at a heavy cost to his own HP. He's now down to 16 in a 2 versus 2. That's not going to be very good at all. Thankfully still a smoke, but only 2 flashes left, 1 on either player. And both members of Obey as well have managed to get themselves to their post-plant positions.
So Flowsick is lit. They have no kit. What else can I rhyme? Nothing else, probably. But DSR and Ape have great positioning for that post-plant because they planted up for that A ramp and they doubled up there. So actually, if DSR falls first, Ape could come out after. But Anger now is going to look for some backup, but they go for the wide peaks instead of sticking on that bomb. At least he picks up a kit. Now it's a 1 versus 1. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. He's looking back towards Palace, thinking that last person is there. Now Ape peeks out right after, behind his teammate. Sees that Anger will have to save his FAMAS. So Obey Trifecta, great play there on that post plant.
That's a smart decision for Anger to fall back and save, though. Whether he's sitting down on...
That's Ape being really happy and very, very twitchy. That's, you know, like when you watch sports and you have those goalies that always have the tics and they always like drink the water and stuff like that. That's what Ape does when he actually plays this game. He's just like
jittery.
Oh yeah, he jitters all across. Like he's looking at his radar, he's looking at his health, he's looking at what he's carrying so far. He's in his game.
All right, so Winterfox again, still really not enough cash in the bank here to be able to afford a buy. So Anger's really going to have the only big weapon on the team. Not even anyone else buying up armor behind it. In fact, the only thing beyond those P250s and a 5.7 for Desi is going to be the HE grenade now going on to Flowsick. But that's not going to stop them from picking up some kills. Desi going to be able to find one over here in the back B halls, catching no one.
It's the second time they missed that smoke.
And also being able to pick up an AK, but Obey not being too good with the smokes. I don't think they're using jump scripts.
No, I don't think so either. They're preparing for the future
ESL
events.
ban.
Exactly. So let's see what happens now as we actually do have a very aggressive push from the CT side. Lex is actually looking for information first, but his other 2 teammates, Flowsick and Anger, they're just going to stay back at the A ramp saying, okay, this guy dies, they probably stack towards the B side to have one guy look for information. We could try to work back towards this A site, but they're going to walk into a stack very soon, especially if Desi is able to get some information from Catwalk.
He's going to go inside ladder room and check the window room instead, though, which could be dangerous because this grate hasn't been broken yet. So they're going to see him there. And they're already through connector. Trying to stick together here at this point. Slemmy's picking up 1 kill and a Flowsick. The defenses are breaking down. Anger, there we go. He's doing some work, though, but he's only going to be able to find 2. And now it's just Desi. They haven't actually found him yet. Keep that in mind.
Yep.
Beyond that grate breaking, they haven't been given any other indication as to his position. However, they are keeping an eye towards it right now. And Ape, as he peeks outside, they might have just spotted him there. He's going to fall back a little bit now, hoping for someone to get aggressive, but it's not looking likely.
He's going to have to make some noise now, so they're going to hear him from Tetris. Now they go for the double peek, and a trade not even needed. They get the kill, Desi dies, and that's going to be 8-5 in favor of Obey Trifecta. I mean, like we said, it was a great job for that bait that they tried to throw towards that A-Ram from Lex. Great try by Anger. He got the first 2 kills, and the last 2 guys that were still alive, he was lined up into that spray. But ran out of bullets, but also couldn't connect with the last few more bullets to actually damage somebody enough to give a chance for Desi to try to clutch that. But also, save round, there was no armor, there was no kit. It was hard for Desi to retake that.
That was really good teamwork there at the end of it, too, with Ape with that little mini bait there where he pops outside. He's like, all right, if I go down, not too big of a deal, but he just jiggle peeks it a little bit, and then that confirms his position, and they're able to just peek back outside from Tetris over there. Way too big of a rotation for him to transfer that spray. That would have been absolutely incredible if he could have done that, but definitely not going to be a very common thing to have happen. So he goes down there. They don't lose either of the players from Obey. Keep their own economy strong here heading into the last couple of rounds. Finally, Winterfox have enough, but again, utility is a big problem here. They're not really able to get everything they need.
A little bit of Slemmy damage at the beginning of this round. He's down to 55. tried to go for some sort of fake happening at upper B, but they fall all the way back towards T spawn and walk in the whole time. So I don't know if that was a bit of utilities wasted at the beginning. Maybe just decoys being thrown, because if you're looking at it on the overlay, they still have a lot to work with. And actually, that forces Desi to push down that lower ramp to try to get that information, and loses that fight face-to-face against DSR. And still, they have not committed towards this A bomb site, so they're really keeping Winterfox on their toes and overthinking these rounds.
There's going to be Lex, tries to get that spray down back over there to finish off some of the players. Not going to connect, but Anger, he's able to grab one, taking down Slemmy. That's a good pickup from him.
That's key.
This is going to scare the players in middle a little bit here. Ape, too, he's actually going to get caught by Flowsick, who's transferred himself inside a window room. No one trying to look for the trade, but not counting on Lex to pop out through connector. This is a shutdown from Winterfox now. It's brought it down to just 2 players left from Obey. However, Winterfox, they think it's coming towards A right now. They've got to move quickly towards this B side, otherwise they could still get away with the flank here.
Well, they want to get Breezy low HP to get the plant, but already the rotation's coming through, so this is going to be hard. They drop the bomb carrier. Last man standing. He wins that fight, though. Now it's a 3 versus 1. That clock is going to run down. Actually, if anything, he should die indeed. Finally does, because if he actually stayed alive and died after, that would have been bad news bears there for Obey Trifecta, but that could have been overall bad news for Winterfox, because when I was mentioning that it was a key kill from Anger, is because he pushed up towards that upper B and got that first frag. So information is given. Guys, they're going to try to execute towards A. Now as they do their rotation, Anger actually dropped down towards that underpass, and then the guys came back from upper B. If they actually executed that faster for the last 2 guys from a Bay Trifecta, they would have had at least a bomb plan and a positioning at upper B to cover that bomb. So a little bit of mistiming for both teams. At the end of the day, look at the draw. It's going to be in Winterfox's favor. But Obey Trifecta at the end of the day, still 8-6 our score in this last round of the first half. They are looking strong as a mother.
That's going to be the big problem for Winterfox, is how well is their T side going to be here in general. We'll talk more about that when we get to it, but we have this last round coming in for Obey now, and actually it's something we haven't really seen all that much of this half. Just a direct attempt at the A side. XP3 screwing up, putting himself wide out in the open there. Desi, he's able to find at least one. There's Lex too, getting deep and dirty in the action, but still the trade's coming in, leaves it to a 2-on-2. Flowsick has to hold his own here as he's still waiting for that rotation to roll back in here. They know it's coming, but they see it coming from a mile away, and Abe just closes things down, finds one, does the 180, and picks up the final shot to make it 9-6 in favor of Obey Trifecta.
Great start there for Obey Trifecta at the same time, and great clutch by Ape on that 2 versus 1. This guy is actually motivated to actually win this game. We talked about it a little bit before. This is the first time that they actually have this roster playing on LAN, coming with Breezy into the team. I mentioned it before at the Toronto LAN. They brought in Synced, right? So then when Synced actually came into this event at the Toronto LAN, they were able to upset a few good teams, including the current Splice roster before Davey came back. So there were some upsets. They were able to play on LAN. They have that first jitter with the lower tier LAN. Now they're playing in this minor right now, and they're actually bringing a good fight against Winterfox. They're playing absolutely bonkers on this T side.
And we talk about Breezy, he's actually leading the team in frags right now, and in quite a few key rounds here, he was one of the few reasons they were only able to win it, just because he finds the entries and he gives them the access to the site that the rest of the guys weren't able to pick up. I think him and Ape were probably the 2 most crucial players in terms of finding impact kills, and it shows by the scoreboard.
Definitely, and what I liked at least from watching Winterfox's play is that at least they're setting up for these trades. Communication is key, and it was actually looked very good for them for Winterfox on this first half on CT side. The only thing that sucked was that there's always one guy that was still alive for Obey Trifecta that went for a refrag and another trade right after, which gave them a huge advantage for them to take over a site. But not only that, they had great clutcher plays from Obey Trifecta as well. I mean, yes, there was that mistake on that 1 versus 1 from DSR on that, I think, the 3rd round on that defuse against Desi, but he shook that off quite quickly, got that clutch 3 versus 1, and then just like that, they basically shook Winterfox.
Winterfox also made plenty of the same mistakes in their own there too. We saw Anger making that one mistake and assuming that, I think it was either DSR or Breezy that he was up against that 1 versus 1, assuming he's going to be back at Firebox. And then Desi, obviously again, his much harder of a clutch to make, but Desi as well coming in has that miscalculation and is tricked there at the end of it too, with that little mini peek that comes out, can't transfer that spray. So Winterfox also having their own set of mistakes.
Yeah, still mind you though, this is a best out of 3. This is also Obey Trifecta's map, so it's not really over as of yet for Winterfox. They still have a full half to play, but now they're playing the harder side on the T side. what do you think has to happen for Winterfox? Of course, winning the pistol round, but who do they have to shut down?
Communication needs to be improved, I think, for one thing on Winterfox.
Yeah.
Rotations were extremely slow. If they are going to try any sort of advanced tactic here for Winterfox, which actually, to be honest, we may not see that. That's one of their problems with their T sides. They tend to be very straightforward. But if we do see that more advanced sort of thing, rotations need to be quicker to support teammates. And overall, we just need to see better support across the board here, as most of these guys are still playing on their own.
Well, the pistol round is now underway, ladies and gentlemen, as we have Obey Trifecta on the CT side versus Winterfox, as they have now switched side, and it's going to be 8 spawning a lot of members from the T side. At that mid connector, it's going to be Flowstick with the raid boss getting the first casualty in this round against Ape, and they clear out the A bomb site just like that, but also lurking inside B as they're just fragging everybody left and right from Obey Trifecta, and not only that, with a flawless victory.
Not a single point of damage done to anybody on Winterfox. Flowstick again improving. This is one of the things that I've actually really shown as an improvement for Winterfox. Flowstick, and he's shown this a couple of times now, when he first jumps onto a roster, he tends to be very, I think, uncomfortable in the environment, and because of that, he's a lot lower on the frag totals. A lot of people were questioning like what he was even doing on this roster to begin with, but he's had time to gel with these 4 other players now, and he's actually showing he can perform extremely well with these guys, and actually has quite surprised me with how well his performance has been at this LAN so far.
Definitely. He's currently second in frags after that pistol round at 14. It's going to be XP3 currently in the lead, as we saw him play very well with the AWP on the first half. Now Anger is going to get the first kill of this round as he drops Slemmy, who are on a pistol buy for Obey Trifecta, with the exception of DSR. That goes for a full USP because he is the operator for the team. So they're buying as a team. They just want to try to get that default round where they're going to have the M4, supposedly, if they don't get any ecos, to have an AWP in the hands of DSR, probably with an AWP small armor.
Also, much more aggressive this time, too, from Winterfox compared to what we see from Obey Trifecta for most of their last half. They're just basically trying to make progress as quickly as possible here. And again, still playing it safe to a certain degree in that on the eco round, you don't know exactly what your opponents are going to be throwing at them, but it's quickly enough that we can consider this is probably going to be a much faster play when the guns do get in their hands. Ape trying to hold his own there on the B site, but he is shut down after picking up 1 kill there. Now it's just going to be Breezy left alive. 1 versus 4, and he'll be caught here in just a moment. Flowstick shuts him down and ends the round in favor of Winterfox.
Yeah, so that's only 1 kill, and that's not too much of an economical damage against Winterfox here. You should be able to draw probably one of the submachine guns that you purchased the rounds before, or maybe just drop a Tech 9. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. It's going to be the Mac 10 that's going to get picked up. And let's see what's going to happen with that. I mean, nothing more you could add with what Obey Trifecta was trying to do. They weren't really stacking anywhere either. They were just counting on sheer aim to try to get some information and some kills with the CZs, using DSR spawning at that fan first. But look at this aggressive push. You mentioned it. They played aggressively the first few rounds. We'll see if it's going to change at the first gun round, though. But they're opening the site from the Palace. Anger drops 2. XP3 holding that middle, and that is an easy spray on to Obey. And that is 2 guys down. I don't know what to say. There, that rhymed.
USP is going up middle in Mirage, especially when your opponents have rifles, is just like a shooting gallery for whoever's on the T side there. So wasn't expecting too much to come out of that one regardless. And I don't think that what the members of Obey were expecting for them to now be armed with the AKs there. So yeah, definitely a little bit rougher than I think they were hoping for. But now they get the guns in their hands. So especially with DSR having the op to play with, let's see what they are able to pull off. Because same story for Winterfox here, not going for the gun upgrades just as yet. They want to try to focus on the economy a little bit more.
Yeah, and it's an op small armor, as we mentioned it before, for DSR. He's trying to opt from the catwalk, actually, to start and set up window and set up connector. Big nades coming through. He's down at 36. But now they're jumping on top of the boxes. Flowstick can probably catch 2. Gets the first one onto Slemmy, but has no idea that the operator was still inside the window. Jumps through there as well. Sorry, he was on the catwalk and gets a 3rd kill onto Breezy. This guy's on fire. Now DSR is the last man standing. 2 op kills, 3 versus 1. Bomb planted for the A ramp. But DSR has to get something done right now. But at this point, I think he's just going to try to save his AWP because Flowstick, goddamn, that was a nice run.
The problem here for DSR, too, is he's already given away his position. So even if he wanted to try for a retake, they're going to know exactly where he's coming from. And that was like what was going on towards jungle there? Because
he was parkouring.
They had absolutely, jungle was just not resisting that. Those one players walked right through connector there, too, and there was no resistance to that at all. Yeah,
I think that smoke that happened there, when he spotted the first guy, it sort of became like a one-way smoke at the same time as well. Let's see if actually first if DSR is able to save his AWP, because they have heard him. They have spotted him as well. They're jumping through on the catwalk, and he saves it against XP3. So that smoke that we were talking about on Catwalk from Flowstick, it became sort of a one-way smoke for him. He spotted the first guy, got the kill. But Terry, DSR, was still on that Catwalk with the AWP. He's like, okay, I'm going to wait for him on Catwalk. I'm going to try to get that kill. But they never expected him to jump from that Catwalk into the window room. As soon as he did that, there was not enough time to get the communication out to have that guy at jungle turn around, and that just opened the site up there for Winterfox. Sorry.
So now Winterfox again having a good advantage. They're still going to have to deal with the op, which actually, all things considered, that was actually quite impressive. His mobility and his ability to pick up frags there at the end of the round to save that. Still quite punishing for Winterfox. And again, that was one of their bigger key issues, was that they were struggling to keep that economy together. So taking down 4 to 5 of the players, definitely not going to be too bad. And he saved the op as well. And now they're going to get aggressive over here towards the tier ramp. Ape with some assistance from No One, able to pick up an initial kill on Desi. They also pick up an additional rifle off this. Won't be having armor behind it, granted. Now, though, incoming is going to be this push on towards that B site. A little bit slow, so we are giving time for DSR to rotate in, but still currently only 2 here to assist with this push.
Well, at least where Flowstick's standing, he hears the rotation coming through, knowing that there was at least 2 guys inside the A side, so they could commit and push aggressively inside B. He's still looking around, getting those kills. Op shots not coming from DSR, and just like that, everybody gets swiped off the map. And it's going to be 11-9. I said swipe, it's like Tinder. I don't like you. I don't like you. You're all gone.
That was like 3-4 swipes in a second, man.
Yeah, basically.
Speed Tinder.
They had 4 cell phones open, basically, and swiped all of them at the same time.
Tindering.
11-9 is our score, but Winterfox looking good, looking a lot stronger on T side than their CT side, actually.
They're actually going to play around with the double op setup here now, too. They did this a little bit in their match versus Optic, and Lex is the one picking up the second op. Actually, not too bad when we saw his performance with it earlier, so this is not like a huge risk they're taking. If they are overwhelmed, because keep in mind, again, Obey still have the guns in their hands, so that could throw them off to a certain degree. Let's wait and see on that one, as they're going for some heavy middle action, but Obey has realized this. They're going to try to close it in. Not going so well. 3 kills to nothing. No One finally grabbing one, picks up a second as XP3 misses his own shot. Now going to fall back inside of that A site. And it's been split pretty heavily. B site's wide open, but Winterfox don't realize this yet.
I just think so far in general, this whole matchup has been explosive for both teams. I mean, the encounters that you see, it's always 2, 3 to like 4 or 5 kills simultaneously. And this time it was from a flash that came out. Ape actually, I think Anger was only partially blinded when he got the kill and got the nice flick to get the kill onto Catwalk, but No One to support Ape was able to catch them both off guard. Speaking about XP3 and Anger,
this smoke in middle is really smart too, because now No One is like confused. No One thought it was, because No One wasn't actually peeking the mid window at the time, so we still thought there was a bunch of players.
But you mean No One is in the player No One?
Yeah. I hate players with that name, because as soon as you use that in a cast, it like throws so many people off. I think I know exactly what I'm talking about. You just make me sound like an idiot now.
Well,
Jesus.
Well, because of that, you mentioned it. He rotated out. The B-bomb site was totally open there for Winterfox to overtake that site, get that plant. And at this point, when you're already committed inside this A-bomb site gamble, you just want to save that AWP and the M4, because you have actually committed a lot of money into that. The save round that tried to happen before didn't turn out into your favor. They've lost 5 rounds so far. Overall, in the second half, haven't won a single round yet on CT side for Obey Trifecta. So they're going to try to keep the economy, get something rolling with the AWP and the M4 in the next round, while the other ones will probably have to go for low pistols again.
The problem with DSR, though, is, I mean, again, we gave him a lot of credit for being able to pick up those 4 kills on the save the first time he's done this, but when it actually came to that next round, we saw he didn't even pick up a single kill, I don't think, and we don't see him doing anything this round either. I don't necessarily think he got challenged this round to be able to pick up a frag, but still, that seems like that 4 kill was just like a one-time thing so far, so he's got to keep that consistent, and which is a big word when it comes to North American players.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And at this point, like you say, he wasn't really given that chance to shine. He's going to have to possibly get those fights, see those fights face-to-face before, especially mid-rounds or beginning rounds, instead of trying to save his guns and getting those kills after. Now hoping to play towards the window side. He's smoked out, though. DSR will have to fall back towards his jungle, but Flowstick is taking control of this mid. Slemmy is looking for some information on the top of the boxes right now. They will spot each other, and Slemmy will not win this fight. As Flowstick trying to spam back towards the staircase. This guy's been the entry fragger right now for Winterfox, because he has played the lurker role on Overpass, but this time you just see him running around and getting those frags and helping Winterfox overtake the sites.
Big mistake there on the A site too, is that smoke is not necessarily positioned far enough forward, so Desi's able to creep out just a little bit from it. Was able to pick up a second kill on the DSR, and that won't be punished at all by No One, as he's held way too back over here, sitting behind Tick, and wouldn't have even been able to see Desi because that smoke unfortunately was too far back. So giving them a little bit too much room to breathe here. And again, Winterfox taking a good amount of control very early on in the round. but still actually taking it very, very slowly. They are primed, though, to basically explode once again into this A site, and I'm not exactly sure if Obey are going to be ready for it. They've got 2 players now sitting back over here, either in CT or back by ticket, and I think they're just going to yield them the site for the time being, hoping they can rotate that 3rd player for B and maybe find a retake on that, but no one! Oh, thought he was going to burn alive, but he's actually finished off before he can even escape the flames. Desi going to shut him down, and this has to be a save now. No way you're going to win a 2v5.
But then that would have been no one burned alive.
I hate you.
So now we're going to save our guns one more time here for Obey Trifecta. And Winterfox really running away with this game on this T side. I did not expect it. I expected with them getting so many few rounds on the CT side that they're just going to get shattered playing this T side half. But this is looking to be 7 rounds in a row right now for Winterfox since they took on the T side.
Honestly, I think this is like mainly because of Flowsick. Like never before have we seen Flowsick performing this well.
Yeah.
He's now leading in frags. He's up by I think he's up by 3 frags now. XP3 was the one leading it on the CT side, but he's up at 22, and XP3 is down at 19 now.
And at the end of the day, they're able to salvage an M4 only, as it was once again Flowsick that was able to get a kill with a P250. Now you're going to call that pause for Obey Trifecta. You're going to try to figure out what's going to be going on right now, because you're 13-9. So the last few rounds, with the economy that you have so far, you have 2 guys at 3,400, 1 guy at 5K, 1 guy at 45. Ape has $4,700 and an M4, so he could drop a gun here. So now they're going to try to figure out, should we go for a drop and go for a force buy and try to bring it back? But on the other side, Winterfox has so much economy built up so far that should they risk this force buy?
Yeah, that's the big question, is even if they win it, they're still going to be going up against... Honestly, I don't even think there's a limit to how the Winterfox is buying now, because you've got 3 players sitting over 10K, Anger's the lowest at 4.6, and XP3 sitting at 7.6. So even as that money starts to diminish, they're going to stack up a losing bonus. And for the Ts, as long as they're able to consistently plant, which again, I don't think that's really been an issue for Winterfox for the most part here. No, it is not. They've actually I don't think they've actually, no, they haven't lost a single round so far in this half.
That's it.
So because of that, you can still assume they're going to be able to get the plants, so they'll keep the money going. So even if they win this here, they'll keep the scoreline closer, but they're still not going to break the economy. So the question is, do they want to try and keep the scoreline as close as possible and risk it now, or do they just want to wait, be able to get a full buy with probably an op included in the final round, and then try to stop it there before they get up to match point?
Now you're looking on the other hand of things, though, at the same time. Obey Trifecta, if they actually do go for a buy, they're going to be going at 13-10. If they go for a full buy and they lose it, it's going to be 14-9. They're going to have to save one. Might be game point situation, no more margin for error. But at this point as well, if they're able to win rounds and you get Winterfox on a win situation, you reset the money back, then you're screwed for the last 2 rounds no matter what. So I think whether it be a forced buy or a save that they're going to play for the buy the next round and try to win out the rest, it's how are they going to position themselves on the CT side instead to try to lose as least players as possible. Because now so far, it's Flow6's game that he's running around that middle, taking control of that middle area, taking control of Catwalk. He could do whatever the hell he wants, and he's opened up the site at least on A for Winterfox. So should they stack somewhere else? Should they stack towards that middle and try to prevent Flowstick from moving around? Should they stack more towards the A site or outside there to play retakes? We'll have to find out, but looks like we are going for a force buy for Obey Trifecta. So you're going to see only one guy with a FAMAS. That's going to be in the hands of Slemmy. We're about to resume this matchup right now. So basically the first map is on the line with this round here for Obey Trifecta.
This is an all-in too.
Yeah.
No money's going to be left after this one. At least it'll be a very, very broken buy.
Yeah.
Maybe see like a shotgun in the mix or something weird like that.
You see there, 2 of them at 0, 1 at 50.
No money left, so this is an all-in attempt to keep the score as close as possible. In their minds, more than likely, Winterfox being up by what would be, I think, 5 at that point is going to be way too much of an advantage for them, so they just don't want to deal with it. If they lose it here, they might as well have lost the match anyway. So this is really the last attempt for Obey, because mentally, they might as well have given up after this round as well, based on the current decision to go for the bye.
And now you see, you don't really have anybody watching from that window side. If you're looking at that mini-map, nobody really playing inside B. They're actually playing Catwalk and Connector to actually control that middle from Flowstick one more time.
This is an insanely smart decision by Winterfox too, because they've been playing heavy middle for this entire half so far, and now that they've all of a sudden switched away from that, that's going to throw Obey off, because now they have no clue where the site take's going to come from. And there you can see too, even on the sites, for these couple of seconds here, they're sticking together because they're expecting a rush to take place because they just fired off all their flashbangs in mid, and Winterfox might have taken that as a signal to start their own take.
Yeah, you can see them creeping back towards this T-spawn at the A ramp. You're going to see them start to execute with these smokes towards the CT spawn, towards the staircase, but I think they only have 2 smokes to work with. So this could be huge for them right now.
Oh.
Nice quick scope there from XP3 onto DSR. It's not looking good for Obey Trifecta.
XP3 going to miss his second peek, though, and that does give that player back over there by Ticket Box a little bit of time to fall back. That'll be no one. Now the rest of these players trying to move in, but the bomb's going down. Lex has control of the area outside of Connector. So far, no one, the only player that's been able to find a kill. He's got those last 2 players moving in from Ticket Box, but there's nothing they can do at this point. I only got 1 flashbang. That player's gone down. XP3 still sitting back up on top of Palace here, and Flow6 going to roll in, pick up the final kill. Winterfox now 2 more rounds away from closing this one out, but Obey, they're broke, and they're going to force this one up. Only 2 players really in good enough positions, apologies, to be able to afford full buys.
Exactly. I mean, you're going to be on a low buy. You're going to play pretty much with your bonus money because you're losing every single round. You've lost 9 rounds or 8 rounds in a row so far, so you're going to get $3,400 no matter what every single round that you lose. So at least you're going to be able to force for Mosses here, but very low on utility in this last round should you lose this one here. Now in this forced buy, at least there was some economy built up for DSR and for 8. They're able to get 2 M4s out of that, but now there's no AWP, although it has been quite silent from DSR's side in terms of him trying to get picks with the AWP and hold out sights. The only time he used it was to try to save his gun and never put it on the offensive side of the defense.
So Lex.
That makes sense.
Lex getting aggressive there. He's able to take down Slemmy with that push, moving himself inside of the apartments. Unfortunately, though, he does get traded out. But again, does a decent amount of damage to Breezy, the player that took him down before he actually ends up getting eliminated. So bringing him down to 19 HP. Desi picking up another one, but again, it's been traded out there by no one. Unfortunately, in comes XP3 in anger. 1 for 1 there as they take 2 more kills for their own side, and everything here for Obey is going to come down to Breezy. He's managed to pick up the AK, but again, he has to look to save this as the money for Obey is still going to be far too low, even with the full losing bonus now coming into play here.
Yeah, XP3 had to win that op shot, had to land that op shot from T-spawn, because should he miss it, his 2 teammates were already lurking towards jungle side, towards CT spawn. If he died, then whoever pushed towards that A ramp had the backup from Breezy moving in that upper B, and they had 2 guys watching that bomb and plenty of time to set up before Winterfox could come back and try to retake that bomb. Thankfully for that, from that push that came out at first, information given away from Desi onto XP3 to say, be careful, there's something coming. Now we're going to go for the smoke.
No.
Going straight on it, and an easy kill there for XP3. Map point for Winterfox.
Could you imagine if that had gone the other way, though?
No.
Like, if he had seen XP3 first and they took him down. Did you see how far away everybody else on Winterfox was?
Yeah.
He probably would have gotten that defuse if he had killed XP3 first. That was a bit dangerous there for a minute, but it just goes right for the smoke. He's like, oh, they're not here. Let me go try and defuse it. Obviously, it doesn't work out so well. And again, Obey now on the broken Vi, made a bit of a mistake 2 rounds ago there. They did actually have enough to go for a fairly consistent force the previous one. This one as well, but DSR, unfortunately, he's completely out of cash, and he has to go for the Deagle buy. Also going to be the only player with a kit this time on the CT side.
Yeah, and they're going to try to take control of this middle with one more time for the CT side with this push all the way up towards that mid. But at the same time, Winterfox are playing this quite well because on T side they're holding outside B in case that push came through. Now that it's calm though, they're re-spinning back to try to get some information outside the A side. But as soon as that smoke dissipates, they only have 1 more smoke to work with. They spot the Deagler of DSR inside the site. Anger cannot connect. Flash coming through, but he's able to turn around on time to get the kill. At least he gets heavily blinded, but the rest of the guys are now executing towards A, and they are looking to win this map convincingly on T side.
I'm watching this from the CT perspective now. These guys are just getting jumbled in. Anger and no one trading out some blows. No one actually able to move in. He picked up a second one there. Ape assisting him a little bit, but still such little control of the actual site area. Flowsick picking up 2. Lex was just about to line up the flank as well, and then XP3 closing it out. Don't even need that flank from Lex. So there you have it, guys. Map number 1 goes very convincingly into the favor of Winterfox with a final score of 16-9. And they set themselves up. 1 more map is needed to move on into the championship bracket tomorrow morning.
This is 9 round 1 in a row for Winterfox on T side. This is a great start there, and great confidence as well for Winterfox. I mean, I thought they would have been broken. I mentioned it before.
Yeah.
You're losing so many rounds on the CT side, but then coming back and not losing a single round on T side. Now you're building that momentum, not only for winning that map, but for moving into the next map of the series, and also on the map that they've chosen. So this is actually looking very good for them.
Some of the things that I mentioned at the beginning of the map didn't necessarily happen. Like I was talking about before, I thought Lex, along with the player sitting on the B side there, was going to be a lot more dominant. That didn't really end up happening for Winterfox, and that's been some of their strengths on this map in the past, whereas their T side has been fairly like fairly straightforward. This time it seemed a lot more advanced. Actually, they got a really good read on the members of Obey Trifecta at one point there in the half there too. And not just this, but Flowsick coming out huge there in that match.
When we're talking about it, you're saying Lex, how strong he is on the A side, but at the same time, most of the execution happened towards B. So I guess they kind of knew this sort of weakness for Obey Trifecta against Winterfox on the CT side first, but somehow just nothing worked on their side for the CT side. And I don't think it's because nothing worked on their side. It's just the way that Winterfox have been executing and take control of this middle. And also, you said, switch it out back and forth. Take control of middle for the first part of the second half, and then leave it completely open, and then just keep Obey Trifecta guessing. Great play for them on the first half.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is going to close it out for us guys here on map number 1. Let's send it down to the analysts and have them talk about it a little bit more.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Well, there you have it. Actually, first side, 9-6 on the Obey side. So again, I was sitting there going, "Oh no, is this Winterfox again? Is this going to happen?"
I think we were all sitting there.
Yeah, and then again, obviously, we see Winterfox does pull it out. Obey doesn't even get another round after that.
Yeah, and that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, you move on to the CT side, right? You gotta put rounds on the board.
Especially after that. You get 9 rounds in your Chi side of Mirage. But I mean, this is the thing too. We saw it out at Winterfox. Is they're a team that when everything's going bad, they continue to make worse decisions. You could see it out of I've harped on this from the past on Desi, where when they're losing that half, you see him start to get more aggressive, and him specifically likes to be the playmaker, thinks he has to do something, think he has to be the hero, starts pushing up very solo, very alone, just once again, there's no teammate flashing for him, just pushing down ramp, and gets eliminated at the beginning of the round, and then just puts his team in even more of a hole. And it's things like that you see at a Winterfox. And the second half comes around, and they're playing well. They haven't dropped around, and they keep playing well together as a team, and they keep it together. So, I mean, you got to have that composure whether you're winning or you're losing at all times.
I mean, like I said, to elaborate on that point as well, they've done enough to win this Obey in the first half. They've won 80% of the CT halves when they play Mirage in the qualifiers for this event. So they should be winning this. You've got 9 rounds as T, no problem. But like I say, in the first half, Winterfox really made it difficult for themselves. Desi seems to have this very bizarre habit. I don't know what it is. Whether he needs to get some Ritalin going on or something, because this guy likes to push way too much, right? He can't sit still.
Too soon.
Hey, I said Ritalin. All right, brother. ESPN, you can run an article about that. But no, I'm telling you, I just think that this kid is too hyperactive. You've just sometimes it's the discipline on CT side that wins you the CT halves. You can't just think I got to be the playmaker all the time. Have a little bit of faith and confidence in your teammates. Hold your angle. Sit still. They threw away so many 1v3s, 1v2s, and Desi was giving them frags easy, pushing right at the start. That's a real problem going forward. When they play a better caliber of team, that's going to come back and bite them on the ass.
That's the key, because that's what we brought up in the pregame is Obey Trifecta going to be able to capitalize on the mistakes as well as Optic is going to be able to, as well as Enemy will be able to moving forward. And the answer was no. I mean, and actually they capitalized on it really well in the first half. That CT side though, it just crumbled, which is crazy to see. I mean, that's got to be better when you give yourselves 9 rounds on a T half of Mirage. So I mean, it was actually really impressive in the first half, which just made that second half just so much worse.
Well, and again, on both sides, both teams have pointed out to us kind of the flaws and the differences between a Tier 1 team and a Tier 2 team. A Tier 1 team, when they start losing, can recover quickly, and they'll turn it back on. Also, that Tier 1 team, when they have that lead, will keep that lead and close it out, right?
Now, again, I was watching the game. I didn't see a timeout, right?
No.
So
timeouts.
why would Obey not call a timeout? You get absolutely wrecked on your CT side. You've got to switch something up. You've got time to use to talk about it. This is where you can see the mental strength of a team. You got to be able to talk this out. When it gets to 12-9, that's when you call a timeout. We haven't picked up a round. Okay, we've lost 6 in a row. What are we doing wrong? How can we adapt? Now, they either don't call a timeout because they don't have that level of communication or confidence, that they can adapt, or they ain't got no ideas on how to adapt. And if you're picking your map and you can't adapt to what the opposition is doing, again, you're never going to win a best of 3.
Not good stuff. All right, well, thank you, gentlemen. We're going to take a quick break. Coming back, this is a best of 3, so we're not done. Next map's going to be Inferno. It is do or die time for Obey, and hopefully they can tie it up. We'll go 1-1, and then we got one more map. That'll be Dust 2. But after the break, we'll find out if they can do it.
Join us on April 1st through the 3rd at the Nationwide Arena in Columbus, Ohio. Watch the best teams in Counter-Strike Global Offensive go head-to-head for a guaranteed prize pool of $250,000.
He could be able to get this. Got the ace clutch! Shazam!
Teams like Fnatic, Envious, Virtus Pro, and many more will be there. Be sure to check out the VIP package for the ultimate esports experience. Buy your tickets now at mlg.tv/csmajor.